Hey folks, Josh Michaelis here, Big Show Productions, and you are getting ready to watch an episode with one of arguably the greatest competition coonhound of all time. Halftime Ruby is on her way over to the house. We're going to turn her loose a few times. We're going to do things a little differently because there's going to be several cameras on. 3 of them, unfortunately, will be packed around by small children, so that should be entertaining. We're going to turn Ruby loose a few times. We're going to get some footage. Wes is going to bring his boys over. We're going to have a great time. Try to get it all on camera. We're going to talk to Wes about a few things, about Ruby mostly, and I hope you guys enjoy. But Ruby is a very, very special hound, and if you guys don't know, she is the winningest dog of all time. She has won, I believe, right around $215,000 in the Professional Kennel Club. She has won another $85,000 roughly in non-sanctioned hunts, CHKC, and things like that. So it's a dog that's won $300,000. And Wes is a good dog man. Brett's a good dog man. They really came together with a special dog and a special team. So, you know, I've been lucky enough to hunt with Ruby several times, but most people haven't, and they want to see what she's like, and we're going to hopefully show that to you. But Ruby's a really good dog. Dogs that do what she does are on another level, and then she's at the top of even that mountain. So it's going to be a good time. Wes is always fun to hunt with. His boys are great, so hope you guys enjoy. Alright folks, Josh Michaelis here, Big Show Productions. We are here with Wes Hamilton, his 2 boys, and of course, Halftime Ruby, who is now officially the all-time winningest coon dog in the Professional Kennel Club history. So we're going to walk right behind the house. We're going to turn Ruby loose. We're going to have a good time with the kids, so you guys stay tuned, and we'll talk with Wes about Ruby and some of the winning that he's done and the team that they make. So stay tuned, enjoy the show, and thanks for watching. When you're ready.
Set. Fire.
I got 9 hours left on my battery. Oh, 9 hours. 2 hours 58 seconds or 2 hours 58 seconds.
No, I just turned off 3 seconds. I got
Barry, let Ruby live.
How do you shut this thing off? My audio's been off this whole time. My audio's off. Dad, can you turn my audio on?
We got a real crew here.
Yeah.
We do.
I mean, this is a professional movie crew here.
You going right now?
No, how do you turn my audio on?
It's on.
Bought Ruby. When did you buy Ruby? How old was she?
I hunted with Ruby when she's 15 months old in the finals of the Iowa Pro Hunt.
Yeah.
I wanted to hunt it off, and I remember Brett Meyer said, "You're gonna get beat by a puppy," and it was I was hunting a dog named Little Shine, and Jesse Jane, Mark Sullivan was hunting Jane back then. Jane was as good as they come at that time. And long story short, Ruby beat the brakes off of us. She ran a deer. Brett made a bad call and took 100 minus, and she still treated like 3 coons. Once she treated a coon, it was over. And at that instant, that she was like 16, 17 months old, but at that instant, I wanted to buy that dog.
You tried to buy her for a long time.
I was hunting for Russ Meyer. Everything in the world for the next year and a half went wrong with trying to buy this dog, but it all worked out the way it should have. Ended up just buying Nathan Stoner's half of her.
Yeah.
And me and Brett became partners, and that just became the whole team, and it worked out. Now me and Brett are partners on all dogs that we own, and it's worked out, and it's going to work out for years to come now.
Brett gets a lot of credit for breeding these. Brett's bred a lot of winners.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been responsible for a lot of major winners.
Absolutely.
But Ruby, and we all know, I mean, we're lucky up here because we get to see Ruby quite a bit. You know, I've drawn Ruby, I've pleasure hunted with you, with Ruby and stuff. But for those that haven't got to hunt with her, what makes her, and she is special, especially winning this late in her career.
Yep.
Me and you talked about that over supper, about how hard it is for dogs to win, you know, long term.
Absolutely.
But what is it that makes Ruby, gives her that edge over some of the other dogs you guys have had?
There's two things that give Ruby the edge. One of them, I would say, that's got a lot better is her nose. She can tree a type of coon that in late rounds that other dogs can't tree. Like when the coons have been up for a while, you know, a couple hours or 3 hours, I'd say, when a lot of dogs, but they've been down, but they're back up. She's dynamite in that. That's her deal, where she can peck around, figure out tracks. She strikes tracks other dogs won't even strike on sometimes. And the other thing is, she's the best I've ever seen at, and she was this way the first night I hunted with her when I hunted with Brett. If she trees a coon, she's the best I've ever seen at treeing coons off of coons. Yeah. When I say that, a lot of dogs don't tree coons off of coons. No. A lot of dogs take 30 minutes and free time. She didn't take it. If she trees a coon in the first 15 minutes of a hunt and has it, it's pretty well on from there on, you know. The recut. Yeah. The recut is, she's always been dynamite off the recut. If she can tree coon, and then it's just, she's better on the second one, she's even better on the third one, and then it's on from there. You know? It's on from there. Your light works, buddy. You guys can hear, as we're trying to do this interview, quite the crew here. Yeah. We have a whole herd of munchkins that make it,
we're serious.
Yeah.
Make it nearly impossible to do anything quietly.
Look at your dad's butt.
This is going to be a good one.
Oh yeah, that's real good.
Yeah, this is going to be the best episode you've ever had. That's good. See? Good job. Your foot's not wet. Yeah, so run them off of it. It doesn't feel wet? That's good. Whose idea was it to bring the kids? What happened on?
Nothing.
You sure?
Technical difficulties.
Fell in what? Water. Not good.
Where's your camera?
Was it cold? Yeah, it was really cold.
Good shape now.
I'll show you.
See anything? Turn it to red.
Come here.
How about turn it to red?
Come here. I'm gonna put my laser on it, okay?
Where's your laser? Turn it back on.
Right there. See it?
Cam! This is scale.
Yeah.
The actual plane dead.
No, it's not playing dead. It's just hiding.
What?
It's just hiding.
Oh. Got a kill. What's that? Oh, big. Dad, you need that Earl.
How's your boots? Are your feet wet?
They're just a little wet. Where's the coon, Dad?
She did a good job there, Wes.
Oh, there it is.
Right there.
Oh, there it is.
See it?
Yeah.
All right, let's go get you guys some dry boots.
Wet kids everywhere.
We do. So, one of
I'm
them.
not wet.
One of them's wearing Nikes because
Hey!
she forgot to put her boots on.
Stop it.
Does anyone want to hold my camera for a second?
No.
Can you hold my camera? Why?
So as you can see, that first tree and getting the kids to it was a bit of a circus, to say the least. But we went back, we dropped the little kids back off at the house. We brought Wes's oldest Elijah with us, and we went and turned Ruby loose here north of the house. So we will pick up the action there on Ruby's second drop. Alright folks, I'm here with Wes Hamilton and Halftime Ruby. We've already had a pretty eventful night. We got some footage of all the kids, and Ruby's already made a couple trees. She's treed one den, one coon. And you'll see that. You've seen that already. But I wanted to sit down and talk about Wes. We've just cut Ruby up this ditch, and I wanted to talk with Wes about her. And we already covered some of the stuff earlier, how you guys come about having Ruby and getting Ruby, and how you drawed her, you know, when she was a young dog. But when you got Ruby and you were able to purchase half of her, you started going to these pro classics and these larger events with her, and she just was really bringing home the cash, to be honest. I mean, she was winning a lot of money in a hurry. I remember when you first got her, I believe, was the Russ Meyer the first hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super Stakes and then Russ Meyer.
Yeah, super.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Super Stakes first, because that was a pretty.
Yeah, I went to the Super Stakes, got in the first night. So that'd have been my first hunt with her. She got in on Monday night, and draw a head-to-head cast in the semifinals. She
Strike Ruby, by the way.
I end up being down 450, and we call timeout with an hour left. It was head-to-head cast, and in the last hour she scored 1,000 plus on 5 coons. And and then we went out head-to-head and hunted against threesome late, and then won that cast and made it to the finals. And then she pulled a puker in the finals and got third. So.
Yeah.
But
that was a pretty good. That's a pretty good debut.
Yeah, that was our first time. That was a big deal.
One thing I've always liked. The Ruby's never out of it.
No, she's always where you can hear. You know, always where you can hear, and normally going to be getting treed, so that helps you.
How much did you guys put on Ruby? Not just in PKC, but total that first year you had her.
The first year was so there wasn't so many big hunts, but
Yeah.
with
this was before
yeah,
they started having this.
yeah, we won 25,000 at Russ Meyer's hunt.
Yeah.
That'd been the next hunt, and we won 2 4-wheelers that year. We won two 4-wheelers that first year, so that was pretty good. I mean, so we probably won 20,000 probably at PKC, and then we won 25,000 at Russ's hunt.
Yeah. So
And,
I mean, she done well.
That was big. That was at that time, so you're talking 2016. That was before a 4-wheeler hunt was a big hunt. Then.
Yeah.
You paid a $200 entry, and you brought home $6,500.
Anything over $50 at that time was a big entry fee.
I guarantee it. And to she won 4 4-wheelers. One was in UKC, but won 3 4-wheelers, and each one of those on your lifetime earnings was like $6,500.
Yeah.
So that helped her a bunch in the beginning before the Pro Classic start to get up a ways. I mean, once the Pro Classic started, she was already up to about 80,000. Before it all started, and the Pro Classic started. I was all about it because I had the chance to hunt the Russ hunts. And that's what they're based off of. That's what they started off of. Was because the Russ hunts had happened. Russ Meyer hunt happened. And
yeah, me and Jed had covered that when we was talking about the Black Eyed Pea, how all that whole format was started at Russ Meyer's cabin over there at Gentry.
Absolutely.
And
what I used to think about that, though, I was a little skeptic when PKC first started them because I thought it took a man like Russ to run a hunt like that.
Yeah.
Because
Russ's hunt was an invitation.
It was, and Russ was the boss there.
Yep.
But it's really not about the man that runs the hunt. It's about the guys that are all there.
Yeah.
You're.
Well, and I think a lot the same guys that were at those $6,500 hunts
are still
are the same ones that was at Russ's cabin, and they just kind of went with the flow of how it was at Russ's cabin and continued that on to PKC. I think.
And it's about just respecting your sport too a lot, because you're not. It's just for that much money, they are the most relaxed hunts you'll ever go to.
I always tell people that because I judge a lot of them, and those are the easiest hunts to judge on the planet.
Absolutely.
They really are.
100%.
Big ass den.
That's what it looks like, ain't it?
About half of it.
She just ran around and picked the biggest tree like she could find.
Big old den, ain't it? Big den.
Alright folks, we're just coming off Ruby's third tree, which you see. She had another coon. She done a really good job running through a pretty thick area. You seen some of that as we were walking in there. And just wanted to stop and talk with Wes a little more about Ruby. So you get Ruby, you win pretty big with her right out of the gate. And you guys, you won the whole time. I mean, it's been a pretty steady string of wins. Otherwise, she wouldn't be the winningest dog of all time. But tell me about, and you said you wanted to mention too, about this last stretch, because we were talking, and she had went to a couple pro classics and didn't do well. She's getting up in age, and I was worried about, because normally, you know, when them dogs get to that age and they've been hauled up and down the road, eventually they just fall off and that's it. And we were worried that Ruby was going to do the same thing, but you guys really came back with a vengeance after all that. So talk me through the World Hunt and then up until this last Pro Classic where you guys become the all-time winningest dog.
We'll start. So it had been a year ago when the coronavirus deal happened. They canceled nationals, and Jed pulled a hunt out of his rear, and we had a Pro Classic here. Yeah. And that was the hunt I passed Jane at.
Yep.
So
I remember that.
Honestly,
who was judging that cast?
You was.
I was.
You was. That's right.
I remember. And we treed 9 coons, and everything looked good, and Ruby done a good job.
Yeah. Okay. So honestly, passing Jane was the goal. Yep. That was the whole goal. Meltdown was out at. I mean, honestly, at the time, nobody thought no dog would pass Meltdown. I mean, he was so far out of there, 211,000, and he was just outstanding dog. But Billy Bell, like he mentioned it to me, and he thought that it could be done. You know, he thought that I would. He said, if anybody could do it, you're the one that's got the chance right now. And it put a fire under me, and we went out to Ohio. We went to the Woodshed, and we won both nights at the Woodshed. And we went out to Ohio and got a first place win at $6,500 hunt. And that was a big win to me too at Ohio, because that's kind of like going to the Lion's Den. Yeah. And but that was that she had a first place win at all 4 $6,500 hunts. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure there ain't even another dog that's won 2 of them.
Because you guys hunted off.
All 4. Yes.
Most of the time you guys hunted off.
Yeah, most of
the
time.
There's not much split.
But she literally won all 60. She won, plus the Russ Meyer hunt actually. Yep. If you talk about, she won, you know, Missouri, Texas, Illinois, and Ohio. She had a first place winner all those. But
There's
then,
behind us.
Yeah. but then after that, I was in the distance. I was at 180,000, needed 30 grand to pass Meltdown, and I wanted it bad, and I got to over hunting her. Honestly, is what I did, and then I went on a losing streak. And some people probably laugh, but I lost 7 casts in a row. And that was like the end of the world.
That's not unheard of.
No, it's
not.
a
lot of people go through stretches where they'll lose 7, 8, 9 casts in a row, but she don't.
Yeah, it was.
She don't.
I thought she was done, but it was more my fault because she was older and I was just over hunting her is what I was doing, and I didn't even go to the World Hunt. She wasn't looking that good, and Brett took her out there, 101 cast. She lost, and George, my old buddy George Majors, was out there. And as I call it, old George broke the seal. He hunted her in a cast out there and won an early round, and then I got her back, and it was 2 or 3 weeks later. I went to Nortonville to a Pro Classic, doubled up, won the Pro Classic, first place. Went to Memphis, 2-night Pro Classic, won both nights, all in a row, and then went to Texas, first night doubled up. She won 4 Pro Classics back to back. Yeah, and that's really where it got. That's what was outstanding. At 8.5 years old, won 4 Pro Classics.
That's unheard of.
You know, 8 casts in a row. So, obviously, she wasn't done. And then I'm back to 5,500 from wanting it. Now I'm wanting it bad.
Well, see, that's about when I messaged you earlier this year. I said, you know, Ruby's getting up in age. Bring her to the house. Everyone wants to see her on video, you know. And you said, wait till I pass Meltdown.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking, well, hurry up.
Yeah, that's right.
The dog ain't getting any younger.
So now everybody's watching, you know, and one thing I always did with her is I really went to the places where we always went to the places where we thought she'd perform the best and didn't overdo it with her. We went slow. I mean, the dog's had 2 litters of pups. We've never knocked her out of heat. Not one time we ever knocked her out of heat. And so I wanted to go to Mississippi, and that wouldn't have been a normal choice for me. I go to Mississippi, strike out all 3 nights. So now I had to come home.
That's when I started getting worried.
Yeah.
When you struck out all 3 nights in Mississippi.
I come home and I sold an entry to
Texas
Yeah.
to a place I just won, but I thought I needed to regather myself, you know. And I had an entry to hunt Ryan Krausen was putting on, and I knew going down there I needed 5,500, and the split on that hunt was only 5,000. So I knew if I got lucky, you know, to get in, I was gonna have to hunt it off to win. And the first night we get beat down there, and the second night she looks pretty decent early, wins the cast, and
She did a little better than looked decent in the late round.
and the late round, it's 3-dog cast, and Ryan Krausen, good friend of mine, been talking about all these coons in Oklahoma. Well, about 2 o'clock in the morning, we go out there, and I wouldn't say coons are down running great, but they're around. You can see them, you know, they're loafing around for sure. We cut loose. I got 200 out of the truck. We're all treed, and another dog's with me, Brad Ratton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brad Ratton's dog, and Joe Manning, the other guy in the cast. And she trees another one. We're about hour in this cast, and now I'm down 50. And I treat another coon. There's about 30 minutes left, and we turn loose at 30 minutes left, and Brad Ratton's got 6 1/4, and I got 750. So it's a shootout. You know, we've treated several coons, and she has just looked crazy good. And Brad's dog takes a little minus, and she treats another coon. Now she's got 900, and that is the most points I'd ever scored with her, and to break the record. So that was pretty special.
I thought it was, when I looked, because I got a picture of the scorecard right after, and you had messaged me that night and said I'll be up there Friday. And so I hadn't looked at Coonhound yet. I was just getting out of bed. You know, you messaged me right after the late round. I was asleep.
Yeah.
And then I look at the scorecard, and I thought, wow, not only did Ruby pass Meltdown, but she really, really did it in style. She didn't just sneak in there and tree one coon.
No, she didn't.
They treed the fire out of them. And she came.
Yeah.
She really came.
Like, we talked about earlier. That's a big thing, is treating coons off the coons. But the way she did that, I mean, that was the most dominant performance I've ever seen in the late round by far.
Yeah.
It was just, she just, you know, I think it was just meant to be, you know. She's, like I said, been very special. But that last run from the World Hunt, so won 10 casts in that last run there, and that would have been, and that was $34,800.
Yeah.
So that's how this game has changed so much. That's how quick you can win. She won 10 casts, and she won $34,000.
But you guys were always smart about what you hunted her in, where you took her. You know, you didn't see her at Michigan Madness for a week. You know, you went to where you knew she'd succeed, and you guys just made an absolute heck of a pair.
That's where you just don't overdo it.
No,
you know? We went to where we could,
and you don't have. You and Brett are just working class guys.
Yep,
that
go when we can.
Everyone says it's a rich man's game, and it's only, but Ruby's paying your way.
The dog's paid.
If you got a dog that's good enough, a dog can pay your way.
This dog's paid the way. It paid a lot of bills. Yeah. Paid a lot of bills. I'll promise you.
You can pay a lot of bills with $300,000.
Yeah, she's paid a lot of bills, and bought a lot of Christmas gifts, and I mean, just she's done a lot of things.
I've always liked Ruby, and she's always impressed me, especially going up in age. And I was always pulling for you guys. You know, I mean, you're a staff member, you're a friend of mine, and I really was cheering. And not that I didn't like Weed and Meltdown and when Nikki had him and everything too. I like those guys too, but I was pulling for you. So. Wes, I appreciate you coming up. I appreciate you letting us get some footage of Ruby. We'll do it again sometime, and maybe we'll keep the kids at home.
That's right.
Or maybe we'll bring them along and not have any cameras to deal with the next time.
Right.
So.
Anyway.
Thanks for watching. Big thanks to Wes. We had a great time tonight. Ruby did what Ruby does. She went and she treed coons, and she operated just like I knew she would. So I'm going to take Wes and them home, and I'm going to get the winningest dog in the history of the sport in my truck again. And it won't be mine, unfortunately. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.